AllBall TV.
They scared, but I'm not.
They don't like comentario.
Y suscribe.
Make sure my mic is on. Do some test these levels. I'll fix this, man. Make sure we got some of us in the building, some semblance. You know. Oh yeah, my mic just dropped like that. No respect. Sandman was good. Todd Black. Everybody running for the hills. Yeah, y'all. It's me. Come on, man. We in the building. We all upset. Brought him in Arizona with the family. Got you on the tube. JR, appreciate that, man. Always appreciate you. Turbo, what's going on? I need rehab. CC, what's going on? I'm unfamiliar with your name. Still upset about last night. Yeah, man. I can't believe you put the picture up. Everybody's scared, man. You know what I'm saying? You see something, it's funny, it's entertaining. Monkey Wrench was good. You gotta roll with it. Just another devastating loss in Knicks history. The whole series was crazy. It was tough to gather your thoughts. Arguing about the same thing all year long. The Thibs thing. We harped on the Thibs. We harped on Bridges. Josh Hart, we were up and down about. Cat. He proved me wrong. But it was still questionable for me from the beginning if Thibs can coach Anthony Towns and Brunson. It was just the thing. OG Anunoby took a leap offensively. And again, we never even talked about the fact that he was healthy. Him and Mitchell Robinson able to pull it through and just remain healthy. And that's another reason why taking advantage of being in another Eastern Conference Finals in our history, you can't take it for granted. That's why I don't like to hear that the Pacers are going to get blown out by the Oklahoma City Thunder. Because granted, with injuries, sports, things take place. And, Rick Carlisle has way more experience than Mike Denault. He's the most experienced person on that court starting, Thursday? Nobody's saying this. Rick Carlisle is the most experienced person on that court when it comes to that championship. Mike Denault is very young. Carlisle's been there before. I think I've spoken enough times about just who Carlisle's been around. He made another hove with Halliburton. No shot at Dame. We don't want to get him riled up. But even if he does, what is he going to say? You didn't make another hole, bro. Rick Carlisle did. What are we talking about right now? Rick Carlisle's out here about earning his money. We got to, right? If we compared, even with Thibodeau, he got Derrick Rose, the MVP. Jalen Brunson is now an MVP conversation. What he did with Julius Randle and these guys, I give Thibodeau his props for that. He has, I think, a system or just something in place where he can filter out who cares about the game enough to want to be out there and who he feels should play. And I think not just who he feels, who I think he feels the fans and just anybody who's watching basketball or loves basketball, who he feels is gonna go dedicate themselves to the craft enough to go out there and compete. And I think, Rick Carlisle is not just doing that, but he's also developing the players, also confrontational. How many times have we seen reports about him beefing with Jason Kidd, Rajon Rondo, pardon me, Luka Doncic? This guy Halliburton, the first thing he said was, he's a coachable kid. I know he had, I don't want to say issues with Ben Mathurin, but there was something with Ben Mathurin where he spoke to his development years ago. They weren't supposed to be in the Eastern Conference Finals again. Many people didn't have him in there. I love Ty. I like Ty, even though Tyrese Halliburton's a villain now of New York City. I've just always liked his game. So to see him be coachable with the Rick Carlisle, that speaks to just what we've been talking about. And Thibs, I give Thibs his props there, but what he's missing is the adjustments being made sooner, whether it's in real time action, in how can I say, between games. AllBall in the building.
Ball suckers.
Second day, the aftermath, my brother. How you feeling?
Feel even worse. You see, it's real Nick shit over here, man. It's like a funeral, bro. Like, I can't. How can I say this? I don't know what a real Nick fan is today. It's 2025. Everything is done for social media. You have a lot of younger fans. So I can't really, but me speaking from experience, being 47 years old and being a Nick fan more than half my life, I never get old. This shit is terrible. It's terrible. Oh, I feel worse. It's terrible because when you really like realize, like, bro, we lost to a team we shouldn't have lost to. And it just has you reevaluating and thinking, like, yo, can I put up with this for another 10, 15 years? Like, to me, what hurts the most is you have small market teams and cities and organizations that are winning titles before the greatest city in the world. First, you had Milwaukee, then you had Denver. Now you have OKC or Indiana is going to win a championship before the New York Knicks. If you told me this 30 years ago, I wouldn't believe that. So for me, it's sad. It's sad, and I don't know how you could be a Knicks fan and not like really be like traumatized, especially if you my age and older, where it's like you see some light. Like this year, it was some real light. Last year, before we got injured, there was light at the end of the tunnel. Remember, we didn't have nothing to root for 20 years. Even when we had Melo, that team wasn't good. He didn't have the pieces that they had for the last couple years. So to see light at the end of the tunnel and it gets dimmed by the Indiana Pacers, not the Boston Celtics, not the Philadelphia 76ers, not this year, the Cleveland Cavaliers, who were a juggernaut in the regular season, the Indiana Pacers. Bro, this is diabolical. Like, I didn't sleep. I didn't watch ESPN. I didn't watch TNT. I didn't watch no basketball talk at all today. Anytime I scrolled and seen, the trolling with the Knicks, I just scrolled past it.
Yeah.
Because it's like, yo, this shit is crazy. Because now, what this does is, even if Indiana doesn't win, if Halliburton has a decent finals run, now they're going to be talking about him as if he's a point guard. Bro, to me, he's average. I'm sorry. Does he belong in the league? Is he an NBA starter? Yes. At times, does he play great basketball and all-star level basketball? Yes. But can't nobody convince me that now, all of a sudden, he's the best point guard in the NBA? So for me, that's what hurts even most. And that's what happens when you beat our Knicks. Your your status gets just undeniably out of control. So for me, it's embarrassing. And now, I see Josh Hart say something. They said Mitchell Robinson was mad. Now you're going to see a lot of bullshit coming out. Now I'm hearing people was upset with all this bullshit. Listen, I've been saying it for a while. This is the history of the New York Knicks, Faye. And it goes back to the Patrick Ewing days. I can't go back to the Clyde days. I wasn't old enough. But I've argued with you and Flea numerous times. We fall in love with guys that are average basketball players. Josh Hart is average. Mikal Bridges is average. No disrespect, Deuce. I'm saying they are NBA caliber players now. Don't get me wrong. But when you look at some of the rosters and the positions, then you look at ours. So for us to even get this far, was successful. But when you have an opportunity to get to the finals and you come up short, the way we came up short, game one and then losing game two at home, you got home court advantage, you fight for that third seed. Come on, man. This shit is it's sad. Sad day for me, Faye. Sad day. So just to answer your initial question, I feel worse than I felt yesterday. And that's the honest truth.
I think I was starting off by saying just, I made a big deal about Rick Carlisle. I know it's hard for you to even hear this, let alone agree with it, but I think you understand it. Rick Carlisle going through all these different teams, like these are different iterations of different eras, 2 different decades plus. He's been around the Pacers 3 different times. 3 different times. So when he won the chip with Dallas, stayed with Dallas, quit Luka. He was beefing with Luka, if I'm not mistaken, Jason Kidd and Rajon Rondo, 3 different point guards, because he's confrontational. And, we see that in Thibs. We see other players that, these coaches, they have the ability to go, you know what? These guys can play basketball, like you're saying right now with Deuce and everybody else. These guys can play. And then the separation between the Carlisle and Thibs is, even if you don't think you like them or they're not accepting of your game plan, why are you coaching with expectations for them? Which is always kind of my beef with you and you and Flea, because I think it was Sandman on Twitter. He was saying like, "Yo, what if Richard Robinson got a jump hook?" I'm like, bro, I don't expect him to have a jump hook, shoot a 3-point shot, none of that. I coach. I like I play 2K or I just watch the game and I form my opinion based on what they tend to do, their tendency. Thibodeau is trying to make people do what they're not supposed to be doing, playing 40 minutes a game, just because they don't do what you expected them to do. Where's your adjustment in your game plan? And I think that's a failure in coaching. That's where me and you that's where we align right there, where we intersect, and Flea kind of departs because he still expects the players to have a better expectation of themselves. Because for me, I didn't expect it to work out primarily because of Thibs from when we got Cat. Rick Carlisle would have figured this out. He would not have brought Brunson back in the game in the fourth quarter in game one. That's what I wanted to get to at a certain point when we went live. I was going to go through the lineup in that game one. Like, everybody's focused on that. Game one, that really ruined us. It really haunted us. No, game one of the 82 regular season is what haunted us. Thibodeau was not preparing us from the beginning. And then the players, and you get PJ Tucker, and where was that at? Where was it at where you go, Carl Anthony Towns has been in the league 10 years, how does he get the ball best? There's no way you could tell me that Jalen Brunson can score a basket easier than a 7-foot dude who can shoot a three. Doesn't make any sense to me. And there was never anything to make his job easier, in my opinion. Carlton Towns is wearing down the whole season. Where were the plays for him to run? How come he wasn't running more plays, especially when last season you're trying to get over losing Hart, Randall, who ran screens, dribble handoff, drive and kick. They're creating a lot of offense. So Cat is replacing that. We saw Nick Nurse move Joel Embiid further out to the three-point line, and he started dictating where the ball went because Joel Embiid wasn't great with his back to the basket and getting the ball to his teammates. Cat is a great passer. So that, to me, is the first mistake in this season. And I guess just responding to what you said, we got too many players that I like to root for, even though you don't like. I think what you say you don't like Josh Hart, where we start to meet again in the middle is where I don't like Josh Hart playing 35 minutes. I don't like Josh Hart thinking he's a primary contributor to the team. He's gonna make impactful contributions, but you got to limit that shit to 20. The same way you give Mitchell Robinson 20 minutes. Yo, give him 25 minutes, 30 minutes maybe, because now he can really focus on those times and be a burst of speed. We talked about Mike Malone, Russell Westbrook. Bro, that was their beef with the Denver Nuggets. Their major beef with Mike Malone was you playing Russell Westbrook too many minutes. It's no disrespect to him, but if he's the energetic, erratic superstar, that same erratic energy, we see it in crunch time. He's making decisions that we do not like and we do not need. It ruins us. It especially in the playoffs, he's going to make mistakes. He can't hit the shot, the corner three. Same thing with Josh Hart. He might get a great rebound, but what do we do after that if he's on the court and he's making these decisions? So to not be able to coach around that, and Josh Hart played 21 minutes last night. So now all of a sudden his minutes shrink. That's my beef. Yo, bro, it took you to be down 0-2. You lost us 2 games at home in the Eastern Conference. We can blame the players all we want to. Those 2 games were not just lost within those 2 games. Those 2 games were lost through the 82 games that you didn't practice what you thought could have happened in the playoffs. How you should have prepared yourself. Forget the team. You should have prepared. You've been preparing yourself. Oh, boy. You don't remember me stressing this shit last year? First round, 76ers. I don't care if we win this series. How the hell are you waiting for game 4 to play pressures of Chua and Mitchell Robinson just came back from injury and Embiid is struggling against athletic forwards and you keep Hartenstein on them? Like, you didn't learn. You didn't learn until your job was on the line because you knew if you got swept, you're fired. Now they're saying your job is protected. You know, Brunson came in the press conference and acted like anybody was ridiculous for asking him whether Thibs' job was secure or not. No, we have every right to ask that question. It's like Stephen A. Smith's dumbass is on ESPN. I have to see that stupid that video. We can't discredit Tom Thibodeau. Why the hell not? We could discredit Brunson too. We love you, but this was not a great series. This was they forced you to be the lack of a point guard that you were and not get everybody involved. Had us arguing over it. And you know, the ball hawk thing got to us, but more particularly just it was the coaching and just the lack of preparation for a dude who's damn near a basketball genius to be if he's not one in Carlisle AllBall.
I'm not a big Carlisle fan like everybody else. He is a great head coach. Is he arguably top 10? He's not top 5. But is he arguably top 10? Okay, maybe. That'll be for another day. But I watched where Carlisle get swept last season in the Eastern Conference Finals. So I'm not a big Carlisle guy, but he's definitely a better head coach than Tom Thibodeau. There's half the coaches in the NBA are a better coach than Tom Thibodeau. I'm not arguing with nobody over Tom Thibodeau no more.
Right.
I've been saying it. I've been saying it since I've been on social media, and you can attest to that. I never liked Tom Thibodeau.
Yeah.
Simple and plain. We was thirsty to re-sign Precious, and then you don't even play him.
Right. Oh my God.
You know, so for me, I watched with Carlisle yesterday, and I kept telling y'all they beat us with the bench. And with Carlisle purposely threw in our face, I'm gonna show you what we can do with Obi Toppin against y'all in the elimination game. I'm gonna put in Bryant, who's a bum. Let's be realistic, but I know how to utilize him. The way Tom Thibodeau doesn't know how to utilize Precious, Shamit, Deuce, he just doesn't. But we have to be honest, and I said this a long time ago, and I get a lot of flack for it, but it's the truth. Our Knicks, going back to the Patrick Ewing days, we try to get over with mediocre talent. When the NBA is as talented as it is, let's go back to the Starks days. We going up against Jordan with John Starks. Now we're going up against the people considered the greatest talents ever. But look at our talent. If we're not going to do it right, don't do it at all. But the coaching is a problem. Look at the assistant coaches. Look at the bench. Just look at everything. For me, I hate when, this is not a success. If you don't win a championship, it is not a success. When you build a team to win a championship, this team wasn't built to go to the second round into the conference finals. You don't give up everything you give up to lose to the Pacers in 6 games when you had home court advantage, and throughout the whole season you were the better team. You don't go into Indiana in a game 6 and get blown off the floor where your top 2 players are terrible. So and then the coaching is horrific. Listen, this is sad. And now going into next season, if there's no moves being made, you can't go back with this team. You can't run it back. Boston is going to be healthy. Philly is going to be healthy. Milwaukee, all right, we don't know what's going to happen with them. But until Giannis is traded,
here's another wrinkle. As bad as the 76ers were this year, they could easily have what Detroit did last year and flip this thing around in a matter of 2 months.
No, they are going to do that.
They have the number 3 pick.
Number 2 pick. If I'm not mistaken.
Wow.
Oh, no. Hold on.
San Antonio.
Dallas they got the number 3. San Antonio got number 2. You're correct. I'm sorry.
I don't even think it matters, bro.
No. It does matter because you could take that with Paul George and get something very nice.
How about whether it's Paul George or Philly goes, you know what? We're done with the process. Why don't we flip the process for Embiid, for Giannis? And then you surround Giannis with Tyrese Maxey, Paul George if he's still there, the young kid McCain coming back, and the other young kid in Grimes. Like you said, that's why it's important. And I'm leaning towards, your philosophy instead, as opposed to mine, where I'm going, I just like to root for my team, because you have to take advantage of these moments, of these opportunities. You have to. And this is proof of it. Boston showed you last year. Look what happened to the Nets a couple years ago with Kyrie getting hurt, Giannis and them winning. You don't do whatever. You can't not go full throttle when you have this opportunity in front of you, man. You just can't. With the way that the league can change, with the way that the teams are now got all the power back, and they could really flip. Philly could really flip and get Giannis. Everyone's talking about us getting Giannis. What makes you think Philly can't do that?
But Fabian, even if they don't get Giannis, right? If Embiid is healthy, let's talk basketball. I don't see the chat. I don't want to see the chat. Big shout out to the chat. I love y'all. But let's talk basketball, right? Embiid is healthy. Maxey healthy. Like I said, you flip that pick with Paul George, you could get something very nice. They are a legit threat to us. We're not better than them if they're fully healthy. Can we beat them? Yes. But we have to start being honest. If we're looking at some of these rosters fully healthy, Orlando is a problem. We now see Detroit is a problem. Because remember, we had troubles with Detroit in the playoffs and we were fully healthy. Indiana's coming back. So for me, even throughout the season, look at the troubles we had with teams like Chicago, Toronto. So, it's like you have an opportunity and you don't take advantage of it. Indiana took care of Cleveland, even though Tatum went down, and hopefully he gets better and comes back fully healthy whenever he comes back, and he doesn't have a drop off, because we don't root against nobody when it comes to being healthy. But then we take care of Boston, and the only thing standing in our way is the Indiana Pacers. I listen, everybody from Knicks fans to the organization to the coaches to the players to the dancers all need to be embarrassed. All need to be embarrassed. Cat and Brunson needs to be embarrassed. And I'm gonna be honest, their names need to be on a trade block just to shake things up, even if you're not going to trade them. To let them understand, yo, bruh, what y'all did was insane. Brunson looked scared yesterday. He's headbutting people. He's out of control. He's turning the ball over. Now you can't bring the ball up. Listen, man, it was just bad. And to be a Knicks fan today, same old shit, Fabian, and I'm tired of it. Like I said, when you go back to 99, 2000, all the way up to now, it's like, yo, stop going after C plus B minus players, especially on the bench. If it ain't gonna be done right, don't do it. Don't do it. Because now you had you had some type of success to where now you can't go backwards. Now next season we can't go from year before that 2 seed, this season 3 seed. Now next season we need to be top 3 best teams in the East. It needs to be. This has to be every year, because now you can't have a drop off when now you're in the play-in or you're the 6th, 7th, 8th seed. So now that's another pressure. For me, I've been saying it. We have to go get Giannis. I'm sorry. Now KD would be cheaper, but I don't know if KD wants to play for the Knicks. But either one of those, we need, just like with Golden State when they lost to Braun in them. And I'm not comparing us to Golden State, but when you have a certain kind of team and now we need that. I'm sorry, bro. We gotta go get Giannis, bro. Or we gotta have 2, 3 guys that's legit off the bench. And we need some defenders, man. We can't defend. Sorry. We have one defender, and that's OG and Mitchell Robinson. Josh Hart is horrendous. When are we going to be honest about him? We go crazy on Mikal Bridges, but have y'all watched Josh Hart? Would you like a player like that on your team? Yes. But would you like that player to play 30 plus minutes and have the ball in his hands and run the offense? Hell no. Hell no. Come on, bro. This is, I hate to say it, this is Rick Brunson and Jalen Brunson controlling the team. I want my guys with me. Your guys ain't shit. Let's call it what it is. Your guys ain't shit. They proved it. I'm sorry, Fabian. They proved it. So for me, that's what it is. The GMs, remember, everybody's in cahoots, bro. That's what makes this dangerous. Everybody's in cahoots. The GMs, his godfathers, his family, is still, bro. So now we don't get Jalen Brunson what he wants. He's leaving. Bro, we kept Josh Hart and got Mikal Bridges for you, bro. Let's be for real. Niggas was even contemplating. I heard people say, go get the Villanova coach too. Remember that?
Yeah, I think that's where again, because I don't know how you feel, because now it's a conversation of people want to pull up the Becky Hammond quote and
She's
about
wrong. I'm sorry.
right,
Yeah,
right,
she's
like
wrong.
and it's people's argument is gonna be, well, all she's saying is Josh Hart winning with Brunson is an exception to the rule. You think we don't know that? It's yes, we are well aware that Jalen Brunson coming to. We didn't expect him to be this good. We just saw. We were like, oh, wait a minute. We know basketball, and we know we're not supposed to win like this. But he's doing something electric. He's inspiring the team, and then on top of that, he's not asking for $500 million. So people bringing that up now, of course, AllBall was mad, say he would trade Brunson yesterday, but that's just, how am I supposed to react to losing? You want me to be not care? People that don't care sound like Ant-Man after he loses a conference finals, right? We don't, as much as I love Ant-Man, I didn't like hearing that. As much as, I didn't like Brunson hearing, I'm riding for my coach. Everything he's talking about is caring about the game, which is really my point when it comes to Josh Hart and these guys. They really do care about the, the game. I don't get the impression that they don't, and if they are, they fooled me. Like, they're doing a really good job of that. And also just comparing it to last year, that's the problem with people, mentioning Jalen Brunson is not being able to be the best player on the team, and we can't win and fully healthy. Our bench last year is Mitchell Robinson, Josh Hart, Deuce McBride. At some point, we had Quentin Grimes as an 8th man, 9th man off the bench. What if we had traded Deuce McBride, and kept Quentin Grimes, right? What if, and like, the Dante signing wasn't that bad if you keep, the Mikal Bridges trade wasn't that bad for me if you keep Dante, because now Dante's a bench player along with Josh Hart and Mitchell Robinson. Now you got a more depth. You took a chance rolling the dice, trading him for Anthony Towns, and allowing Thibs to co-sign that. I can root for that still. I didn't mind the Villanova Knicks there because, again, going back to Flea's statement of the process, Dante had one season here and broke records, and now that guy gets to come off the bench. Hey, if this Mikal Bridges, who, if we compare Mikal Bridges and Dante's first season with the Knicks, Mikal has way more pressure on him. He has way more of the defensive pressure on him, way more game plans on him. Dante didn't, but at the same time, when you watch Dante DiVincenzo play for us last year, there was no thought process. It was catch and shoot, or put the ball on the floor, or give it up. It was all quick. It was all quick. Combine that with Isaiah Hartenstein, dribble handoff, getting to pass the ball, Julius Randle setting screens, Isaiah Hartenstein setting screens, Mitchell Robinson comes back, set screens. Those are 3 guys that can set screens for Brunson. What did we do? We didn't pick. That's the problem. Now that I'm talking about it out loud, AllBall, we didn't pick and choose who is the number 1 for this team. We didn't do that. You traded for Cat and you said, y'all figure it out, which is Thibs' way of doing things. And that's the part that's kind of frustrating me when I'm shooting at Leon Rose for this. If you chose Brunson to be your number 1, you can say that, but you didn't do that. And we saw it on the court with the Pacers exposed it. If Brunson is your number 1, he got to go 40 minutes and try to figure out this maze. We're going to be physical with him. You're going to have to cross everybody over because you don't have the screeners to make your job easier. You don't have Randall out there to drive and kick. You're not going to give the ball to Cat to operate your offense. We didn't do that. We didn't go from what Nick Nurse did with Embiid, put him at the top of the key and let Cat go to the top of the key, set some screens for him, put him in different sides of the court so he can make passes that are easier. We don't have a ball handler to get the pressure off of Brunson, aside from Bridges, who we finally used last game to bring the ball up. Aside from that, we really had Josh Hart as a de facto, point guard. That's what I'm starting to agree with you, and I'm seeing that's where you get frustrated at. How the hell is Josh Hart a point guard? How did that was not in the game plan when you went to go trade for him? That wasn't his role. His role was to be an energy dude, get extra rebounds, extend possessions, and gain possessions. we love to root for him because he's an energy guy. But the other thing is, before I forget, another reason why last year to this year it hurts way more is because we were able to go, you know what? Damn, last year when it ended, yo, if we were healthy though, but if we were healthy though, we had the imagination to go run with. This season,
See,
it stings because we didn't take advantage of the opportunity, and we felt like that's all X's and O's. Bottom line.
well, you know, I hear a lot about how much credit the front office should get, right? But we also have to blame them. We had Grimes and Obi Toppin on the bench, and we got rid of them. Imagine Grimes and Obi on the bench. Even if we didn't have Deuce or Precious like, just imagine how different things would be if we had Grimes and Obi coming off the bench. So the credit that everybody want to just go crazy. What about that? For me, the Becky Hammond statement was correct because you said it last night. We were 2 games away from winning going to the finals.
What wasn't correct?
No, right. She was incorrect
Right.
because we were 2 games from getting in the finals, right? And up until last night, Brunson, that game last night was terrible. He didn't have a good series, but there were so many things that we did wrong, from coaching to just guys on the court can't get no stops. Brunson is horrific defensively, but Bridges and Hart wasn't any better. So think about a starting five where out of the starting five, 4 of the guys is terrible on defense. Until Mitch got into the starting lineup, Josh Hart, Bridges, Brunson, and Cat couldn't stop nobody. That's why Indiana won. That's exactly why they won. You can't stop nobody. That's the game. And Fleet preaches that all the time. And everybody needs to get held accountable for that. Okay, you're bad offensively. Cool. But you can't get no stops. That game won. We get 1, 2 stops. The game is over. Couldn't get a stop. Last night, couldn't get a stop. Couldn't get a stop. And to me, for Thibs to be a defensive coach and your team can't get no stops, what does that say about you? Listen, man, we as Knicks fans, yeah, we emotional. That's what fans is. All you tough guys, and get out of here, man. I'm a fan of the game first, but I'm a Knicks fan. And it hurts because, like I said, we had an opportunity for something big to happen for the city. That's never been done, as far as the Knicks. But listen, man, Lightbringer, you're correct. Wingstop got eaten up. I called them Kentucky Fried Chicken. And after a while, I love OG. OG was getting his ass bust too. We couldn't get no stops. None. None. So, no matter who we bring in here, we have to get defenders. We have to get defenders. Coming off the bench, we have to get defenders. We lost 2 defenders in Grimes and Obi, who, oh, by the way, both can give you offense and knock down the 3. Where's the explanation for that, front office? Okay, I hear you about Hartenstein and DiVincenzo and Randall. Where is the explanation for getting rid of Obi Toppin and Grimes? And then now Rick Carlisle throws it right in your face.
Right.
One thing with me, with certain things, I'm smart. Last night, that was purposely done. Obi, show these motherfuckers. This is how we gonna do that. So for me, Thibs has to go. I'm done till Thibs is gone. If Thibs is the coach next season, I'm done. I will be on Knicks Rehab and I will respond, but I will not root for the Knicks. I am done if Tom Thibodeau is still the head coach. He needs to go. You got it. Listen, The first round, you were terrible. If Brunson doesn't play out of his mind, and that's the thing with Brunson. This is why it's so hard to like give him any flack, right? Because let's be realistic. Cat and Thibodeau rode the coattails of Brunson all season. That is a fact. This is facts. What did Tom Thibodeau do throughout the season when you went, wow, that was a great job as a coach? We sitting up here praising Rick Carlisle for the job he did. When was the last time you praised Tom Thibodeau for something he's done when it pertains coaching? When was the last time you went? Now, Cat had a game 4 that was out of his mind. But how inconsistent and bad has Cat been defensively? Come on, we gotta call it what it is. So, yeah, Brunson deserves some blame. And he deserves, to be held accountable. But let's be realistic. And I argue with people last season. That wasn't Tom Thibodeau coaching. That was Brunson playing out of his mind. Brunson was a la Allen Iverson last season with all the injuries. Thibs ain't do no coaching. Come on. What Spo was doing in Miami, what now Rick Carlisle was doing, it goes to show you still need coaching. You still need coaching. Look what happened when Denver lost their coach. Look at Minnesota now. You still need coaching. We do not have a good coach. I'm sorry. We do not have a good coach. And the front office, we need to start looking at them as well. Because there's some moves that they made. That Grimes and that Obi Toppin, get rid of them. I would love to hear an explanation for that, Fabian. Nobody brings that up, bro. Nobody. We bring up getting Cat, keeping OG, re-signing Precious. Now we know we have the worst bench in the NBA, but you gave up 2 guys that are great players that can come off the bench. And we see what Grimes did off the bench. We see what Obi Toppin is doing in Indiana. Front office, Leon and these guys. What happened with that? I would love to hear.
The only pushback I have for you is Tom Thibodeau had his guys last playoffs and he didn't get to them as soon as possible. And Tom Thibodeau, you waited. You said campaign and Shaman was enough this summer. Shaman separated his shoulder in the summertime, took off 3 months. We waited for him, make sure that the roster spot was open for him to fulfill it. He comes in and you just really hit the light bulb for me because we went back to the Detroit series. We had an awesome game 1. And that the game 1 was 123-112. I'm forgetting what that game was like, but Landry Shamet had 10 minutes in that game. I'm thinking it's a blowout by the end of the 4th quarter. Or is that the one that I'm trying to think if that's the one that campaign had the 14 points in the 4th quarter? I think that was at the Garden, if I'm not mistaken, and that's when campaign had the 12 points in the 4th quarter, whatever it was. And Shaman plays 4 minutes the next game. Campaign plays 4 minutes after that. No sight of Achua or DeLon Wright. So you don't play Shaman more minutes. You don't play DeLon Wright minutes, and you don't play Achua minutes against the Detroit Pistons. That's my problem. Game 3 through 6, you're playing guys against the Indiana Pacers that you didn't even prioritize against the Pistons. That means we probably should have swept the Pistons or beat them in 5. Same thing with the Celtics. You're making the game way harder than what it has to be.
But bro, even think about like Thibs even his rotations and his substitutions, like just how he plays the first quarter where he just take Cat out when it's like 6 minutes, whatever minute. And it's just like all that's played, bro. You ain't coaching.
Right.
You not coaching. So yeah, it's gonna make Rick Carlisle look like a genius. It makes every coach that coach against us look like a genius. Bro, you don't do nothing different. How many times have we been in a group text and I'm going, what you take Cat out for?
Right.
Or why are you keeping him in there? Why is Josh Hart still in the game? Why this? Why that? Like, come on, man. For anybody to defend Thibs at this point is just crazy. I'm sorry. I'm not arguing with nobody over that. Like I said, these last 2 years, uh, if Brunson isn't Superman, what is Tom Thibodeau doing? When Brunson went down, we watched OG play out of his mind. Brunson comes back, OG is null and void. Where is the coaching at? To go, hold up. OG has to be involved more. With like I said, I'm gonna say it again. Since Tom Thibodeau has been a Knicks head coach, give me 5 times you said, wow, that was a hell of a coaching job.
And for those 5 times, we got 150 more for those 5 times. Each of those 5 times, we were just like, yo, you could have done this, you could have done this, you could have done this.
And Fabian, sorry to cut you off. I'm big on, I don't care how bad you are. How many, I want you to find this tape. How many times have I said, I don't care if OG and Mikal Bridges, whoever they're guarding, is giving them 40. If the game is close, make that one stop.
Right.
I don't care how bad Tom Thibodeau coach. Coach good in the games that matter. Last night was your opportunity to coach. And you got your ass kicked. You got it. We looked embarrassing last night. Yo, they was picking Brunson pockets. Like, it was bad. I'm watching Josh Hart just look like a dead headlights when he got the ball wide open at the free throw line, and he's looking everywhere but the rim. I'm watching Cat commit the dumbest fouls in the world, and Tom Thibodeau says nothing. Nobody's held accountable. You know how bad you're supposed to curse out Cat when you subbing him out after he commits a dumb foul?
Stay right there, old boy, because this article was released. When I tell you, it felt like the last whistle was blown last night, and it felt like the article came out like right afterwards. It felt like this is a hit piece. Like they put this out right after the whistle blew. The Knicks did, in my opinion. According to The Athletic, Knicks players and coaches were reportedly frustrated with Karl Anthony Towns' defensive habits. This is throughout the season, y'all. Publicly, Knicks players made veiled comments all season about poor communication causing their inconsistencies. Behind the scenes, they and coaches expressed frustration with Towns' defensive habits, less concerned with his talent level, and more with his process on that end. Too often, Towns executed incorrect coverages without communicating why he did it. After it became a theme, players worried Towns didn't grasp the importance of the matter. Why does that make sense? Why does that stand out? Because of Josh Hart's ego comment throughout the year. Because of Karl Anthony Towns sitting down with Charles Barkley after game 5, and Barkley asked him, yo, why do you make dumb fouls? It follows that theme.
Oh, hold on, but no, but say his response though.
I don't know. God, let's ask God.
What type of response is that?
But that matches the article.
No. I understand, but I'm just saying in real time when he said that, I'm thinking I'm thinking he's gonna say, yo, I have to get much better. I don't know what else. But when he said that, I went, oh yeah, he can go. He can go.
Right. But so now imagine, because you know what I say? This is why I don't like, because yesterday we went off on Charles Oakley. You weren't on with us because Oakley was talking about getting, it's up to Patrick Ewing to get me in the garden, but
that dumb shit, yeah.
Right. But what I'm saying is, you've been calling Patrick Ewing all kind of words the last 30 years, bro, right? And now you talking about he should help you out. So if this is how you treat him publicly, I can only imagine what you do in private. So going back to Karl Anthony Towns, that's what he said on a public stage on the spot with Charles Barkley. Imagine being a teammate and then asking you these questions. That was your response. And we're going, what? Imagine Josh Hart going, yo, we got too many egos in here, man. And, you know, some people just don't get it. So the whole time I'm thinking it's OG. It was Karl Anthony Towns, just they're flabbergasted. And I just think, again, though, I'm going to blame Thibs. Flea would have been so frustrated with us right now because you're still coaching with your expectations. Karl Anthony Towns is not going to change who he is on the defensive end. He's not. He's slow-footed. He makes dumbass fouls. On national TV, he responded to Charles Barkley and in front of all of us and said, I don't know why I do that. Damn.
Listen, I've seen somebody say something in the chat that I 100% agree with, and I've been saying this. Thibs, he doesn't even fight for us. There were games where, as a coach, he was supposed to get tech and get kicked out. At times, the way we were being officiated, like I said, he barely challenges. I rarely see him really like I said, after games, I watched that Detroit Piston coach fight for his team one time. I said, I would love to play for a guy like that. I think it was they played against OKC, you know, people with the SGA, with the, you know, what they call them, the free throw merchant, whatever it is.
Right.
But I watched that head coach go berserk for his team. Tom Thibodeau just sits there with his hands crossed. I've been said this a while ago. Tom Thibodeau been checked out. Been checked out. Been checked out. You have a coach across from you that you know is a smart, good head coach, and you do nothing to make him think. Nothing. Nothing at all. Not one time in this series against Indiana did Tom Thibodeau do anything that went, oh shit. Nothing. Literally nothing.
I think the starting Mitchell Robinson thing and going 10 men.
Bro, he was forced to do that. The world went crazy.
Right. What I'm saying is, if this is chess, all right, you made your move. Now you didn't. This is going back to Carlisle's experience. You made one move and thought one step ahead. Carlisle saw that and he gave you two tricks.
But Fabian, check it though. But the job was already done. You did that when we was down 0-2. Now if you do that game one, because remember, in the locker room, they planning against that 5. Now just imagine there's no reports, there's no nothing. Game one in the Garden, Hart is not starting, Mitch is starting. Bro, he did that after we down 0-2. Bro, the job was already done.
Yeah.
I do not understand how people can defend Tom Thibodeau. Ever. Forget with the Knicks. Ever. He had prime Derrick Rose, won conference finals. He had a prime Wiggins, Cat, and Jimmy Butler. Never got out the first round. Now you get a Knicks team where you get everything you need year after year. Let's be for real, year after year. Last year, you had game 7 at home and you lost. This year, you're the better team, home court advantage, and you let the bench players outplay you. Brian and Obi Toppin won that game last night. Why? Because you have guys on the floor that miss assignments, can't guard nobody. Every time you watch Josh Hart, he's looking somewhere else besides his defender. You keep Mikal Bridges out there for what? For what? How many times have I seen things going good with Shaman and guys on the court and then you sub them out? Why? Because your guys got to get their minutes? Tom Thibodeau doesn't coach to win. He coaches to stay on the good side of the guys. That's why a Brunson can go, no, because he's going to let you do what you want to do. He ain't going to hold you accountable. Anybody that's been a baller, I don't care how tired you are, you never want to come out the game. So now I got a coach that's going to give me 40 plus minutes, let me do what I want, run whatever play I want, and you ain't gonna hold me accountable. You ain't gonna curse me out. You ain't gonna do nothing. Oh, that's my coach for life. That's why nobody like Kobe. God rest his soul. You hear all the stories about Kobe now? How am I gonna get better with these niggas? Y'all gonna make my game worse. You niggas take my sneakers off, bro. I'm watching you bum ass niggas in practice. Nah, that's coaching.
And you know, we hold Bridges' feet to the fire. We all have since he got traded for 5 draft picks. But the response to him calling out Tom Thibodeau throughout, you know, they try to clean that up so quickly, and just the arrogance, the doubling down of, yeah, well, you know, you're gonna play 40 minutes again. And this is the Iron Man on the team telling you, no, we can't play. See, everyone loves to point to the SGAs of the world, whoever it is. Bro, SGA has like 2 or 3 guys that could go handle the ball for him. He could go sit down. You know how many times everyone keeps saying this about SGA? How many blowouts have they been in this year, this season, including the playoffs? How many fourth quarters he's taken off? We have not had that luxury. And it's just the fact that he responds to Mikal Bridges 3 months later in the playoffs down 0-2.
Fabian, I'm gonna say something that I don't think nobody said yet. If they did, I didn't hear it. You know me. I'm a Brunson stan, bro. You know that, right?
Yeah.
But this is Brunson's fault. You ready to hear why?
Sure. Ooh. Jalen Brunson has hacked AllBall's account. That sounds crazy. Anybody get hacking AllBall? I'll love to. He left me on to be continued mode. We saved AllBall from Jalen Brunson's hacking, y'all.
No. Right. I'm gonna say something because y'all know our motto on AllBall TV. They scared, but I'm not. They scared, but we not. And this is just being honest. I still love Brunson. Still would want him to be my point guard. I still think he's one of the best players in the NBA. But we allowed him to construct this team. I'm saying it. We traded for Bridges for Brunson. We keep Hart for Brunson when we shouldn't have. That's the problem.
He also took less money to get a superstar, and he got Cat, right?
No, slow down. Forget the Cat part. Hold on. Hart and Bridges, that's for Brunson, bro. That is for Brunson. And they have proven they ain't good enough. So now what do? Are we scared that if we put them in trade rumors that Brunson is going to get upset and now he wants to leave? This is on Brunson, bro. You wanted the Villanova Knicks. Everybody laughed at it. We loved it because we Knicks fans. But let's be realistic. Hart and Bridges is here because of Brunson. Right now, at this point, I'm taking Grimes over Bridges. Yeah, I'm saying it.
That's crazy.
I'm saying it.
That's crazy.
Sorry. Flea, what up, Flea?
Yo.
Sorry.
We live.
Big Flea. Biggest. What up?
I'm gonna take some calls later, y'all. So get hyped in the building. AllBall is probably gonna dip on y'all because he wants his nap. I'm sure Flea will stay with us though. Flea, how you feeling? I don't know if you heard us. We're going crazy on Thibs for an hour and change.
I was saying watching.
Was just saying that he blames this on Brunson. The trading for Bridges. The team, if you put Bridges or Josh Hart on a trading block Brunson, it would have set Brunson AllBall?
I mean, that's how I feel. At this point, you know, I'm holding everybody accountable. Like I said, this is what it is. You know, it's like being in a relationship. You have a breakup, and now you sit back and you're able to reflect, and you just, okay, I remember this when this happened. But I'm just saying, you know, Bridges has been terrible all season. All season. Why is he here? Oh, his best friend is on the team. Why does Josh Hart have the role that he has? I've been saying it. Why does he play the most minutes and he's not even the fourth best player on the team? Oh, his best friend. I might be far-fetched. I might be bugging. It might be a conspiracy theory, but that's how I'm looking at it. So like I said, now moving forward, like my brother Flea say all the time, I got to agree with him with this. You have to get better every year. What are we going to do now to stay at this position where we're fighting to get to the Eastern Conference Finals or the finals? Are we going to run this team back, or are we going to make some moves that's going to be tough, that's going to ruffle some feathers? Now, like I said, if there's a trade that can be made to make the team better, and Hart or Bridges is in that trade, does that offset Brunson and make him upset? These are things that I'm thinking about. I don't know if everybody else is, but these are things that I'm thinking about. And this is how a team can implode and just now goes to shit. I think Brunson and his pops, they controlling this thing. And Brunson got his friends over there. Cool. It didn't work out. You niggas can go. We cannot run it back with this team. Like my brother Flea say all the time. What are we going to do to get better? Teams that don't get better every year, they decline. We've seen it year after year after year. Like I said, you're going to have teams healthy now, coming back. What are we going to do? It's my opinion. Flea, I ain't sleep. I ain't did nothing today. Just so you know.
I'm not surprised.
Look at me.
I'm not surprised.
Sat on the couch all night.
I'm not surprised.
I'm getting trolled. The DMs is out of control. I'm not responding to nobody.
Oh yeah, I've been in those streets a little bit. I've been in those streets a little bit. So yeah, it's a tough day to be a Knicks fan for sure. It's a tough day. It's a tough day to be a Knicks fan for sure. You are quoting me right on the money about getting better. You gotta always upgrade. But I think this team has proven over the last 3 seasons. You said the last 3 seasons have been the most stressful seasons for you. But every summer we do something. Every summer we do something. Every summer we assess and we do something. Maybe this is the summer that we pull the trigger on the coach. Maybe that's the upgrade. Maybe it's time to go big fish hunting. I mean, that's what we always do though. I appreciated putting together a team that, you know, found a way to gel, found a way to put it together, and found themselves in the Eastern Conference Finals. Yeah, we could critique everything about this team, but if you asked yourself at the start of last season, when we started Knicks Rehab last season, I mean, the beginning of this past season, did you find us in the Eastern Conference Finals?
You know what I'm gonna say.
I'm asking you. Did you find us in the Eastern Conference Finals?
I thought we would be in the finals.
Okay,
you know
well,
that.
So then I understand why you taking this so hard. For me, I'm like, to put together a team that ain't played 1 year together and we here, I'll take it. There's a lot of shit that we got to clean up. A lot of shit everything y'all was talking about. I don't have no rebuttals to it because at the end of the day, it's all things that need to be addressed. But for some strange reason, like, it could have been any other team that was last standing for the Indiana Pacers to play against. But we made it here. I don't know. We got to take this and do something with it going forward.
Right. And that's what I'm scared and nervous about. Because now, you know, you have a team, you have a fan base that, like you say, we fall in love with our team, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, now it's like, are we willing to let some guys go, like you said, to make that upgrade? And I think as Knicks fans, that's what held us back for years, Flea. We would be afraid to, let some guys go. Your opinion, what move would you like to see that'll help us for next season to get over this hump, or at least be in this same position where we're playing great basketball all season and we're back in the Eastern Conference Finals? What's a move that you would love to see, whether it's coaching or whether it's players?
I mean, for me, like the first thing is whoever it is, like we gotta be real about this. Whoever it is, the mindset from day one gotta be defense. We gotta understand that from an offensive perspective, we're gonna go through ebbs and flows of the season, but we are good in that category. We can figure that out. I don't think that that's a space that's gonna be like, damn, we gotta have some intervention on how to be better on the offensive end. The intervention has to come on defense. Are we going to commit to an 82-game culture of playing defense? And that's whoever's out on the court. It don't matter who you are. Are you going to be a positive on the defensive end? That's got to be the first thing. But in terms of moves, for me, I want a ball handler. I need a guy that's going to come in and handle the basketball. I was talking last night. Y'all said we got a chance to sleep on it. I'm thinking about guys that I would love to see Alonzo Ball on our team. A bigger guard, a guy that can handle the basketball, a guy that's going to be able to guard both positions, a guy that could take the ball out of Brunson's hands. If it's not Lonzo, somebody in that frame, a bigger guard that can handle the basketball and guard. Give me that. I don't want us to overreact, man, because if we overreact and say, okay, we go get Giannis, then we got to readjust everything. We got to figure everything else out. And that don't guarantee us another run back to the Eastern Conference Finals. So, we got to get somebody to come off the bench that's gonna be relied upon 15 to 20 minutes a game, 20 to 25 minutes a game, that you're going to get 15 a night from him.
Please, I hate to cut you
Fabian,
off.
what's up, brother?
That name right there, monkey wrench throughout. Malik Monk.
Right.
Because for me, the only name I could think of, because I really couldn't think, I was just trying to relax all day. It really did hurt. And the overreaction thing is like, I'm not with the Giannis movement because, like you said, that's way too many parts to move. And I have to rearrange. And you're really restarting your team all over again. And we already just went through that.
If you do that, for sure.
Right? So you add to this, because we had, again, like, I feel last year's team was better. All we did was the addition by addition, really, with OG, and it balanced the team out because of what we had already. So how do you balance this out? And the first name I thought of that to me got to be priority is Steven Adams because of his screen setting and stuff. But then to your point about the ball handling, that is a must. That's not even, forget the screens. Because we could have got a lot done this series if we had somebody else. Campaign can get, that's why Thibs had trust in Campaign. Because he could get the ball across court and get to his spots. Even though he makes these erratic shots, he can handle the rock. That Malik Monk thing, Sacramento's in shambles. I don't know what we could really offer. But what do you feel about that name, Malik Monk, fellas? Or Flea first?
No, OG, take you. That's on you.
I think at this point, at that magnitude, who wouldn't want him on their team, right? But I'm gonna say this: in the NBA, right, you cannot have a starting five where 4 of the starting 5 is the worst at their position on the defensive end. All season, Cat has been the worst defender when it comes to the center position. Brunson is the worst defender when it comes to the point guard position. We have to call a spade a spade. Mikal Bridges all season has been horrendous when it comes to defending. And Josh Hart. So with me, would I love Monk? Yes. But Flea said defense. We may need somebody in that starting lineup to where Bridges and Hart has to go to the bench because they can't defend. We need defenders, man. We cannot get stops in pivotal moments. So a player like Monk, excuse me, I think he covers that on both ends, defense and offense. So yeah, I would love a guy like that. But that's why I say, fellas, we have some shit that we really have to deal with. But like I said, I'm gonna repeat it. We have a starting five, and this is before Mitchell Robinson was in the starting lineup because all season he wasn't. 4 of our 5 starters are the worst defenders at their position. Yes, Mikal Bridges has moments. Yes, Josh Hart had moments. But for a whole NBA season, Mikal Bridges defending the 2. Sometimes he got to guard a point guard. Josh Hart being undersized, having to guard 3s, sometimes 4s. They can't do it. So we have to fix that. I'm sorry, we have to fix that
But
more than
Fleet,
anything.
I think the only thing with Malik Monk, ball handling and scoring is great. He's like Jamal Crawford-ish, 6-man type, right? But defensively, he's lackluster. So I mean, what do you feel about Malik Monk?
I mean, they got the best out of him when Mike Brown was there, right? They got the best out of him in terms of being able to play defense. You're not going to play for Mike Brown if you don't play defense. So,
right,
he
if you can't play with Mike,
so they got they got the best out of him. I think the league is a copycat league, right? And we starting to kind of see that, yeah, the 3-ball is cool, but everybody is not relying on being able to shoot the 3-ball. You see that the 2 best teams in the league, I said something to y'all yesterday. These two teams in the finals, it ain't by mistake, right? We wanted to be there for sure, but it ain't by mistake. Since the calendar year turned 2025, these 2 teams have been the best 2 teams in the NBA, and it's not even close to anybody else record-wise. So what I'm saying is how they constructed. They got a lot of guys that can handle the basketball. They got a lot of guys that could defend multiple positions. They got a lot of guys that move without the basketball. A lot of unselfish guys. And they got a lot of guys that's ranging from 6'4" to 6'5", 6'7", 8. Like they got a lot of lengthy guys. Like we got to start thinking about how to construct our lineup again, not replicating, but making our lineup constructed where we put ourselves in the best position to be successful, but also, hey, look at what's working right now. There ain't no super teams in the finals right now. It's 2 well-constructed teams that got great ball handlers at the point guard position, and guys that's going to defend, bigs that's going to set screens and roll, rebound. Like they perfectly constructed to be where they are right now. We're not. We come off the bench with a Deuce McBride. No shot to Deuce McBride, but that ain't enough. We come off the bench now with Josh Hart. Y'all know I love Josh Hart. That ain't enough to win a champ. That's not enough. We got to start getting creative on how we construct these lineups. And the point about the whole Nova thing, real quick, before I give it back to you, OG. I understand what you're saying, but these guys all came in as pros at different times. They was in the league on different teams. And I think them alone should understand the business of basketball. This is what works. Like Brunson was surprised as hell when Josh Hart got traded to the Knicks. Surprised. Didn't even know what was going to happen from what it looked like. Right? So I don't know. But he looked damn surprised. I don't think
you smarter than that, but I'll let you have that.
I know. Let me rock. Hold on. Let me cook. He looked surprised, right? So I don't know. But what I do know is if there are moves to be made, we already seen Dante get the heck out of here. So yeah, Bridges came in, Hart is here, but one Nova guy's already been sacrificed. So it's not like it can't happen. So if there's a move that could be made, Bridges is due for some money, y'all.
Right.
July 7th, he could sign, I think, for 164, something like that. 4 years, 160.
If we offer it to him, right?
If we offer, right.
I'll look it up.
Now he goes into next year, going into unrestricted free agency. So we're gonna pay him. Are we gonna pay Cat? Cat do. He can
No, we
sign an extension July 7th.
an extension because he already has like 3 years left for
But he can
like
sign an
50, 60,
extension on
70.
the 7th.
So
We
Mikal
gonna do that?
Bridges is entering his last season of his contract.
Never the little one. No. Sorry, Fabian.
So that's my thing. Okay, I threw a couple names out there. Without overreacting, what are we gonna do?
You have to add to the team, and Malik Monk, I think, is not we unanimous decision. He's not. You can't bring him in. Again, that's why I didn't want to get rid of Dante. The thing with that Nova Knicks thing, all ball for me, I think Brunson, it's nepotism at its finest, and when it was, to me, it worked. It clicked on all cylinders last year, and we were trying to replace that team. The Nova Knicks, to me, did not hurt us then, because now you put Josh Hart in a position where he's the 7th, 8th man in a rotation, and that's what you got to get back to. You can't rely on Mitchell Robinson for 82 games. You can't even rely on Cap for 82 games. And I don't know if we made this point earlier, but Mitchell Robinson and OG Anunoby were full. How many games did they play? Do we expect that next season? That's why, again, we're supposed to take advantage of an opportunity like this to win, right? And it's another reason to add. I think I was looking for the screener flea, but I think you're right. We need the backcourt guy who's going to play that hot potato, get the ball moving, bring the ball up, because you can't just keep thinking you can run full court press on us, which is like some high school shit. And we
struggle to get the ball across half court as a professional team.
Half the time we struggle to inbound the ball. Like, come on, bro.
Who's the other inbounder besides Brunson?
That shouldn't even be a problem. Like, that's what I'm saying. We have some problems. That's insane.
Before I forget, coming up with these names, you could come, because I saw the thing with Trey Murphy. They put the odds out on who's more likely to get him, and Knicks aren't even in the top 5. And Trey Murphy was a name they threw out there last year.
That's a guy.
He's a big guy. He could defend, and he can shoot better than Mikal Bridges.
But my thing on our team.
But my thing is, though, Flea, the stuff that you don't want to hear is, remember, you gotta pass these names to Thibs. He's the guy saying, "Oh yeah, give me that. Yeah, I'll coach them."
Well, I think, but that's what I agree with, and this is where I'm at with this coaching thing. Presently, might change tomorrow. Who knows? But presently, right now, either we're gonna bring in some guys on that bench for Thibs that's gonna be strictly worried about developing what we have, or we got to move on. Why is Johnny Bryant not on our bench anymore, and he's over there with Kenny Atkinson? I never understood why that happened. Johnny Bryant was a young coach, a coach that had his ear to the post, was very influential on the young guys. If we're not going to have a developmental coach, because I promise you, Mark Bryant, Mo Cheeks, Othello Harrington, all those guys, they're not developing the guys. If they're coaching, cool, but they're not developing young talent. And if we got young guys over there, I got you, OG. If they got young guys over there, you got to get a guy that's over there that's going to develop guys. And if it's not, you got to move on from Thibs. Move him, because he's not going to develop the young guys.
I just want to make a joke that our coaching staff, if they try to coach us, we not listening to them, let alone NBA guys. Mo Cheeks couldn't tell me what time it is at this point. And I've said this numerous times. If we're going to keep Thibs, cool. Let's just upgrade the coaching staff. Some of these other teams have all-star coaching staffs. Let's be realistic. None of us is listening to nobody on that bench. So just imagine you are I'm pretty sure practice, bro, them dudes probably not even in the practices, the coaching staff. Nobody listening to them niggas. Bro, you think Brunson is listening to Mo Cheeks and Hamilton? Nobody listen to them niggas?
I would hope so, but I feel you.
Damn right, bro. They don't even stand up.
For all of that and make it to the conference finals, we did damn good. Like the name, I saw a name in the chat just now. That's another name that could give the effect. Marcus Smart. That's another name that could give the effect. That PJ Tucker that you think you was Nostradamus, you said PJ Tucker, huh? Like if we could get if we could get
I just said the effect in the locker room. I ain't had nothing to do with him being on the court.
You did. No, but if we could get something like that to translate onto the court, right? You can't play PJ high minutes. He's an older guy now, just a locker room guy. But something to translate like that on the basketball court, for sure. For sure.
Yo,
that's a great name.
For sure.
But you know what's crazy?
Name.
But we all said that already when he got traded. Remember, I thought Washington was going to buy him out. Like even Chris Middleton, I would take, because this is how I'm looking at it. Right? Because look, a lot of great teams when they made their runs, right? They got 2-3 guys that were maybe out of their prime, that maybe wasn't healthy, but the experience being a vet and being able to make big shots, a la with Boston when they got Posey and all them dudes. Even with so for me,
the guy you talk about all the time, Andre Iguodala, the guy you talk about all the time,
right? So for me, those are things we need to be looking at, and those names y'all brought up is great. And you know, like I said, for me, we have to figure this out because we can easily go backwards. Because now, like you said, the problem is July 7th, Cat and Bridges. Are we extending them? From this playoff run, how do you do that? Like seriously, how do you do that?
But here's the other side of that. How do you not when you know where you got? Let's just say the thought. Let's just say we La Costa Rosa. We ain't coughed that up in a while. You're Leon Rose, Fabian. How are you thinking about how things panned out at the end of the day? If you're Leon Rose, you've made these moves. These are your personal moves you've made over the last 18 months, 2 years. And now we home after Game 6 Eastern Conference Finals. How could you be thinking about an overhaul of the lineup instead of little tinkering here or just flat out running it back? How could you not think any different?
There's no way they're thinking about. I don't think they're thinking about trading Cat unless it's Giannis and another MVP dude, because that's a flat out MVP, right? But I think they're thinking, yo, we came in here talking about championship, you know, within a 5-year window. I think that they believe they're even closer to that goal. The Marcus Smart name, I didn't like the Chris Middleton name when you brought it up until you said, well, he won the chip. Where's the veteran presence? You know, Marcus Smart hasn't won a championship, and he couldn't even really affect that Memphis team, it seems like. But it wasn't all his fault. They weren't all healthy. But, you know, he has a little Josh Hart and Russell Westbrook in him too, where we've seen him turn the ball over like 3 straight possessions against the Milwaukee Bucks when he was on the Celtics. But I would imagine that, again, we don't have someone, like you said, PJ Tucker on the court who might start something. He might start some shit.
And he might hit a big shot. He might get a big stop.
And he could bring the ball up. He could bring the ball up.
You know, like we gotta start thinking about how to upgrade this team, especially our bench. Right? Our bench has to be. If Thibs is the guy we go forward with, if Thibs is not understanding after this moment, if you don't understand after this moment.
Right. Thank you. Yes. I wanted to make that point.
Go ahead.
I'll get to that point in a second. Cedric Hamilton, appreciate you for your $4.99. Bro, Brunson has said on many occasions how he enjoyed being coached by Carlisle when he played for him. He's a top 5 coach. I think he's easily a top 5 coach. There's no way at this point, number one, realistically, going back to your question, if you're Leon Rose, what are you thinking? I think that's the reason why they're going to keep Thibs, because they got even closer to the championship. And if that is the case, then he has to be able to use the playoffs as a vision board. I gotta play 9 guys. Going back to, I seen some of the comments saying, man, how are we gonna develop the super sophomores if they are super sophomores? And Tyler Kolek, Huck Purdy was playing in the playoffs after we thought he was done for the season. That Thibs, can we develop them, especially when you saw the playoffs? Oh, these guys, the Celtics, the Pacers, the Cavaliers, these top teams are using 9 guys a night. Oh, I could play these guys for 30 minutes, 25 minutes, and then put Kolek in there. And are you going to be able to do that? Can you ingratiate that? Can you infuse that into your new game plan, into your schematics? Or, boy, I don't know. And I hope he's not stubborn enough to go into next season and be like, I told y'all it didn't work. We still didn't make the finals, and I did what y'all wanted me to do.
I'm gonna say this, right?
Sean, I got you, Sean.
I'm gonna say this. If we looked at, besides the Joker, the last couple of champions or teams that been to the finals, they don't have a great big man. You don't need a great big man to win. Carl Anthony Towns is not for us. I loved it. It's not going to work. Him and Brunson doesn't work.
Wait, hold on, but stay right there real quick, old boy, because you've been coveting this guy for years.
Right.
I pushed back for years, and everything that we both put on the table. Fabian, what does soft mean? You wanted a new definition for soft. You wanted me to redefine soft. All ball.
But for me, it's not even about.
Oh, Cat almost got you turning on Brunson at this point. Where are you with the Carl Anthony Towns putting a New York Knicks uniform on? Dipset Cat, the Mad Lion.
If it means us paying some crazy type of money, no. Like I said, you don't need a great big man to win. Embiid ain't win nothing yet. Like I said, besides the Joker, I watched Dallas get to the finals with 2-3 solid big men. They play the game that's for today. I'm watching now 2 teams that are in the finals. They don't have great legendary big men. I'm just saying, if it comes up to where, I've seen enough. Cat is not going to get better next year defensively. He's not going to get better closing out. There's times where if your best player, including Brunson at times, if you have 2 of your best players that at times they can't be on the court, that is a problem. There has never been a time where I've seen in NBA history, Greg Popovich might have did it one time with Tim Duncan, and that was a mistake. But I've never seen where your best player cannot be on the floor in crucial moments. Cat and Brunson at times cannot be on the floor the way the game is being played. So for me, do I like Cat? Yeah, but we don't need a great big man to win in today's basketball game. And like I said, Cat, we have to be honest, he's more of a liability. That's what I seen, and I just don't want to go into the next season with the same thing and we back here, but it's not in the Eastern Conference Finals with Knicks Rehab. It's the first or the second round and we got our ass bumped out. And we going through the same thing where Cat is doing the same thing over and over again. If he's not going to get his game right, post up more, work on his defense, and learn how to not commit dumb fouls, then we're going to be right here next season with these same stupid looking faces, with me with my same stupid looking face, crying and complaining. I'm sorry. You don't need a great big man to win today. It's been proven for the last damn near 5 to 10 years.
Flea, has Cat proven to you that he's a big imposter?
No, I just think, if we had a steady diet of what we had once we made that adjustment with Mitchell Robinson being at the 5 and being the starting center, I think we'd be singing a different tune if we're watching Cat at the 4 the entire season and not playing the 5 and taking on a lot of the brunt of rim protecting, a lot of the brunt of the rebounding, a lot of the brunt of just being out there having to switch a lot, like being very responsible for a lot of how good we are defensively. If that is taken away from him and we do what good teams and good organizations do and put guys in place, like we need what Karl Anthony Towns does, but he's terrible on defense. So how do we combat that? We got to get a full season out of Mitchell Robinson, or, you know, look at what Cat looks like next to Rudy Gobert. All I'm saying is that playing him at the 5 the entire season required a lot. It required a lot out of him. And I just think if that's a tweak and a tinker that we do, then that's a move that we do. I don't think it's at this point it's like kill Cat. We knew that he was never going to be great defensively. At this point, he's never going to be great defensively. But what do? You keep great defenders around Steph Curry because what? Steph Curry's not going to be able to guard his position very well. But you got to keep guys around him to make sure that if he falters on defense, a lot of guys are going to be able to take off him. Cat is that kind of player that we got to put him in a position that, yo, look, you can't slide them shits. You ain't going to be where you need to be. We got to have somebody there that can make up for that. I said Lonzo Ball because I said, you know, we could put Brunson in a position where he's not out there hunted and has to guard a bigger guard. He don't have to be pressured. Okay, we get it to another guy that can really handle it and see over defenses instead of being so small. So little tinkers, we don't have to can the Brunson and Cat shit yet, but small things can make this thing look a lot different.
I got to get out of here, right? But just I want to hear y'all response on this before I go. We may have to build this team like Philly built around Allen Iverson. I don't know how y'all feel about that, but you know, it seems like Brunson, if he's not allowed to, you know, do what he want, I don't know how we're going to be successful unless we get a coach in there or unless Tom Thibodeau coaches a certain way. But how do y'all feel building around Brunson? What's y'all thoughts on that?
Well, I think before you jumped on, Flea, I was saying that the trade for Cat, the number one issue through 82 games and now with the playoffs is we usually see this when people, you know, I know Cat saying this is Brunson's team, but like I always say, what you say and what you think is way different than how you play. And on the court, we don't know who the number one is. That's what it feels like. Who did you really build this team around? Because you got Cat, but how did you complement either one of them to support which one is the number one guy? And this is where we falter and why they can't be on the court at the same time, because yeah, they lack defensively, but you're supposed to make the offense, if that's the case, a super version of whatever it's supposed to be. And we never established that. To build around Brunson like he's Allen Iverson, that was the plan. That to me was what happened last year. And it was just hard. It was Flea called it lightning in a bottle, and that made the most sense because that was so much talent on one roster. It's insane. It's really insane. Quentin Grimes is looking like a starting 2-guard right now, and we love the way he locked up Jimmy Butler on one leg. That was crazy. And then he turns out, remember, he was changing his jump shot in the summertime with J.J. Redick. It still wasn't clicking. He's the kind of guy that probably needs the ball in his hands more, but that's the guy that was coming off the bench, and they replaced him with Dante DiVincenzo. Obviously, going back to AllBall's point, this thing is Brunson. Brunson is leading the way. And that's Dante was his guy. So him starting is kind of not surprising, and you know, with 2020 hindsight. But you know, should we build around it like it's Allen Iverson? Yeah, we have to make a choice. Or you're going to get more screen setters to get Brunson an easier.
But that also means moving Brunson to the 2.
But that's what he is.
No. I know that's
Like,
no. I
you
know
know what I'm
that's what
saying?
he is, but I'm saying literally when they bring up the starting five, his shit say shooting guard, and like Flea say, we get a Eric Snow, a tough defender that can bring the ball up, a la Alonzo Ball. I'm just asking. Like I said, I'm not saying I'm right or wrong. I just want to hear y'all opinion on that.
But I don't think in this era we do that. I don't even know a point guard. They don't even call Steph Curry a two guard, and to me, he plays the two. He's off ball. Draymond is really like running the offense a lot throughout the whole championship tenure, and they still call him a point guard. So I don't care what you call him. I don't care what they call these people anymore. Just do what you're saying. Make the moves. Make the coaching adjustments to have the plays run so that he's going off ball and doing the Allen Iverson cuts. More horns plays sets, ran for Brunson, off ball. That is the way to go with a Brunson. So the Becky Hammers in the world, all these other guys that were waiting on us to lose to say you can't win with him. See, meanwhile we're in the Eastern Conference Finals. We were one step away. Allen Iverson was not getting better every year. He kind of like became AI and he was just chucking. Brunson, he was getting better every season. He built up to being a franchise guy. AI came in as a #1 pick. He was expected to be that dude. Brunson was not expected to be that. But now that he is, you got to make a decision. To your point. Yo, get more players to make him an offensive weapon and a decoy for more plays, because that's what #1 guys do. And I think that's the biggest reason why we failed this year. Leon Rose and Tom Thibodeau never established that.
I mean, somebody got to tell Brunson that the team is not as the team it was 2 seasons ago, and it's not the team it was last season. So I feel if you're gonna build it like how they built that team with Allen Iverson, I mean, they didn't win either, but I building it like that and putting the complete offensive burden on Brunson today, for me, doesn't really make sense. So I wouldn't want to do that. I know that he established himself as the guy that we go to that's going to carry the offense. But I think for us to continue to get better, he got to realize that he doesn't have to be 30 a night. That we can actually build out the team around him, but build out the team around him that are complementary pieces that can elevate their roles. Like, I'm talking about the Philly team. I'll talk about the Golden State team for years. And like Steph is the guy. We know that. But in moments, Klay Thompson elevated his role. And it's like, okay, we need that Klay Thompson to be who he is so that we can close out this type of game or these type of games. Situational things, right? We know who Klay was in his prime. But all I'm saying is that we don't need to be afraid to put other alpha level guys around Brunson and have him figure it out. I don't think we need to cater to Brunson, this is your team, and we're going to get a bunch of ancillary pieces around you, and you just running around, we figure it out. We can't be afraid to have some guys in there to challenge him being the guy. If you ain't got it tonight, Cat needs to be the nigga. It's me tonight. It's me, and that's what Fabian's always saying about Cat. He needs to be. If he's who AllBall says he is, right? That was always your point. If he is who he says he is, you need to be like, yo, get me the rock. Tonight is the night. Tonight's my night. I got Miles Turner. I averaged 30 on him. Bring it this way. We know you could finish the game. Bring it this way.
Well, after these playoffs, that's what AllBall used to say about Cat.
But just
right.
But just real quick, watching now, y'all both broke that down great, right? But that is a problem, and we need to figure out. If you asking me who would I rather build around at this point, it would be Jalen Brunson. I watched OKC build around SGA. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That's his team. Fabian keeps saying it, and now that's something to really think about. Okay, who are we building around? Is it Cat or is it Brunson? My opinion, that team that Dallas built around Luka, that's the team Brunson needs. Where you got, think about this. Cat is not even catching alley-oops, bro. Like, we have nobody on our team that's athletic. The way the game is built today, This is why we lost. Indiana running gun, we have none of that. I just feel that you get some defenders, you get some 3-and-D guys, and you get excuse me, some lively Gafford type guys. I'll take 2-3 of those over Cat right now for this team because I don't want to build around Cat. I'd rather build around Brunson. And I do think Brunson can average 30. And I do think a team like that will be more successful than what we are now. Like I said, unless Cat is gonna, I don't need him to be great defensively, Flea, but don't commit dumb fouls. Be able to close out. Because once again, we watch Indiana have good seasons, Miles Turner, this and that. They get Halliburton. Oh no, they built that team around Halliburton. Right now, we don't know if the team is built around Cat or Brunson.
The 3 names you just named right now, and I know it's completely obvious, but I think it matters. SGA is a 6'6" guard. Luka
Yes.
Doncic is a 6'7" guard.
Yes.
Tyrese Halliburton is a 6'4", 6'5" guard. Like, these guys, are point guards and at the guard position, but they are bigger guards. Jalen Brunson is phenomenal on the offensive end, but we are talking about a smaller guard. And we don't want to run. We hate Becky Hammond's statement.
No, hold on, Flea. Hold on. Y'all said something earlier. Those 3 names you just said. Okay, I understand the height. But what y'all said through this whole live, they have players around him that can defend and that can handle the ball. Brunson doesn't have that. OG can't handle the ball. Mikal Bridges can't handle the ball. Hart can't handle the ball. Cat can't hit. So I understand the height part, but those guys have multiple guys around them, at least 6, 7, 8, that can actually handle the ball. So I get what you're saying. You're correct on the height part. But once again, the way teams are constructed today to win championships, we constructed like the 90s, while everybody else is constructed like 2025. We have to figure it out. This is a problem that the front office and the coaching staff is not up to Knicks Rehab because we ain't getting paid to figure out. We ain't getting the millions of dollars to sit in
Not
the
yet.
boardrooms and sit in the video rooms and figure this shit out. Flea, they got to figure this shit out, bro. But it's now going to be sketchy because once again, the NBA, as far as talent, is getting better and better every year. Now, when teams are healthy and we're healthy, what is it going to be? I'm just saying, Fabian made a great point. Who team is it and who are we building around? Because you can't build around 2 guys at the same time. How does that work?
Well, Brunson is the younger player, obviously. Brunson is the guy that you can go to go get a bucket. Cat is great. Cat was great. I think if you look at the overall season, Cat was good for us, right? We in the biggest moments we expect him to be better, and I think that always overshadows what he was, throughout the season. I thought he was, good for us, really, really good for us. That is why I brought up Lonzo Ball, because that does put Brunson in a position to have a little back, and especially in terms of handling the basketball. We need some Lonzo Ball. Like, Josh Giddey is getting Lonzo Ball out of there, matter of fact. Another name, I'm just talking about a bigger guard that can handle it, pass it, shoot it, create for others. Just, and it might not be those names per se, right? It might not be that. Drew Holiday. Like, it might not be that, but these are the names that are bigger guards that we could take it out of his hands and see Brunson in some action, some actual action without the ball in his hand. I never see that.
Hold on, fellas, real quick, Fabian, please respond. Now, I'm glad that y'all brought this topic up, right? Look at all the great teams in these last couple of years. Look at the Boston Celtics. Everybody can bring the ball up besides Porzingis and Horford. They got 5, 6 guys. Every team has 5, 6. Some have 7 guys that can handle the ball and can run the offense. We have 1 guy. 1. Denver's fucking center can run the point guard. Let alone Aaron Gordon. Murray can bring up the ball. We have 1 guy. So I'm going to be honest. I'm okay with trying something. You see it doesn't work. Okay, we have to move on. I'm gonna be honest, fellas. We gonna have to get maybe 3, 4 ball handlers, and that may mean shaking up the roster. Y'all might not like that, but we cannot go into another season where we have 1 ball handler and 2 defenders on a 12-man roster. That is not going to work.
But that's the part to me that's not shaking up the roster. Is again going back to last season, we had a core with Julius Randle, RJ Barrett, then we brought in Brunson, and Randle was a part of that thing. Mitchell Robinson and these guys, IQ. You really didn't shake up the roster because RJ Barrett is really a role player now, 3rd, 4th option. If you got the core there already, now the new core is Brunson and Cat. The Bridges is a role player. OG is a super defender, but you got to consider him a role player, but he's maybe the 3rd best player on the team. Everybody else we talking about, whether it's Bridges and down, are all role players. That's not shaking up the team. That's complementing the foundation, whether it's Brunson or Cat. So I don't think that you shake up the roster like that. That's adding to what you need. I don't, not that it's not that hard, because look with the salary cap, the second apron business, it's a lot trickier to do, make these moves today. Before you get off AllBall and read the super chats. JR, thank you for your $4.99. Cat is a better defender than Julius, but he lacks the bully ball mentality. Thank you for your $1.99 as well, JR. We lack height as well. The one thing about this, because I'm always comparing it to last year with Julius Randle, right? At that point last season, Cat was not better than Julius Randle defensively. And that is playing more towards Randle was under Tom Thibodeau for 4 or 5 years already. So I can't just say he's a flat out naturally better defender than Karl Anthony Towns. It's not that, bro. It don't take that much to figure out what Thibs is asking for when you the low man in the corner and you rotate, right? For the when they pack the paint. Randle knew his role. Karl Anthony Towns, again, Flea's always saying this. This is his first season with this team with Thibodeau. So maybe a summertime, watching some tape, going through training camp, seeing what Thibs might need you to do, you're gonna already expect to hear what he's gonna say. You expect to know what Brunson wants, what OG. You don't want to hear OG talk to you anymore like this. Even though it is a hit piece on that from the Athletic, and we saw how Cat responded to Charles Barkley, where he's literally saying, "Well, I don't know why I'm moving the way I am," and it's like, all right, well, you have to start answering yourself, answering the question at some point in the summer. Why am I doing that?
And stop
How
being
can
the
I do
funny
that?
guy. Stop being the funny guy. You got your toe. We was laughing about it, but you got your toes out. He's asking you a serious question, and you up there being a fucking goof. Oh, only God knows. No, I'm being undisciplined. I need to be better. We're in a dogfight right now. If I don't be better on the defensive end, we don't win this series. So I got to be better, Chuck, for sure. These are dumb fouls. They're unacceptable. When the season is over, I got to take a look at this. But right now, it's unacceptable. It's not helping us win, and I got to be better. Only God knows. Shut the fuck up. Let's grow. We got to be like at that for real. Get serious, nigga.
Fellas, I love y'all. But when big shout out JR, but when someone says Cat is better than anybody defensively, that's my exit. Y'all have a great night.
Sayonara, my brother.
Yeah, y'all have a great night. Love y'all more than y'all know.
Yes,
shout out to the chat. Love y'all more than y'all know. Hit that like button, share, like, subscribe. Fabian, let me go about my business, please.
No. I just
when someone says Cat is better than anyone defensively, that's my exit. Y'all have a great night.
Before you go, you got to hear this. It takes me 2-3 sentences to say what you can say in 4 fucking words, bro. When somebody says Cat is better than anybody defensively, sayonara. That was simple and plain. Like that.
Simple and plain.
Plain and simple. Y'all have a great night. I hit my brothers tomorrow. Chat, love y'all.
Oh, boy. It's been some time. We out here. David Smith, AllBall trying to ruin the Knicks. Flea, I did want to throw the link in the chat, see if anybody wanted to jump in. Got a couple more minutes with y'all.
Oh, okay. Well, that would be
your cue.
Love the chat. But y'all will learn another slogan that I have I won't tell y'all the slogan right now, but you will know the slogan soon.
Oh, look, the beautiful, the lovely, the magnificent.
La Puria.
Did you think this was a subliminal?
What was a subliminal?
A lot of the post-game conferences, interviews, done afterwards, after the game 6 last night. Oh, wait a minute.
I watched this about 5-6 times.
Hold on a second.
What was a subliminal?
The beautiful, the lovely is in the building.
Tori B.
Hello, fellas.
Hey.
La Turia. What's up?
I'm good. How y'all doing?
Man, we chilling.
We're mourning.
Listen, now, let me tell y'all something. Basketball is just basketball. I had the shittiest day ever today. So I promise you, this is just another day. Basketball is just basketball. It'll be all right.
You are right. You are right. We love our Knicks, though, Tori B. You
Oh,
know we
absolutely.
love our Knicks.
Absolutely.
Tori, I'm a bit of I gotta choose my words wisely. Maybe I like pain a little too much because I'm a Knicks fan. I'm still a Knicks fan. I jump back, they got Leon Rose, and I'm still optimistic. Like what Flea always tries to remind us that we sucked for so long, to have a team and just a guy like Brunson to root for. Because I was so, when we had Melo, I was in conflict. Like, yo, you didn't have to. You could have signed with us with that same team, and now we have Brunson who say whatever we want, but we're the conference finals.
Let me tell you something. Not only do you have Brunson, you actually have an entire team. We have a good team. Hello?
Yeah, we're listening.
Yeah, we got you.
Oh,
We got you.
I thought it cut off.
No.
We got a whole complete actual team. We need a few tweaks, but there's no reason for us to be jumping off the ledge and being all mad. Like this was literally the first year of a rebuild. And we went to the Eastern Conference Finals. I'm not gonna hang my head this year. I refuse.
I love
We should have won this series.
I love the energy.
We win game 1.
Yes.
We win this series.
Yes.
And
Yes.
we lost game 1 because Thibs don't know how to call timeouts.
Mm.
We up 17. Them dudes go down, hit 2 quick threes. I'm screaming at the television. Thibs, call a timeout. Gather the troops. If he would have called one timeout down 11, we'd have won that game. We'd have won the game. Win the game, we win the series. Well, at least we go to a game 7.
For sure.
So at the end of the day, for us to have revamped our whole lineup, we had defensive struggles the entire year. We had a team that was hurt 90% of the season. We didn't get those guys back fully until 3 games before the playoffs. Every single series was different. You had to learn on the fly in every single series. Detroit was different from Boston. Boston was different from Detroit. Indiana was different from both of those guys. So for them to have to make adjustments 3 separate times with 3 separate teams, not using a bench. Thank you, Thomas Thibodeau, you dick. It was a lot to go through, and we still went to the ECF and only lost. We took us to game 6. We could have went to the chip this year, but it is what it is. You live, you learn. I'm not hanging my head this year. I refuse. Because they did a whole lot more than any of us expected.
I can't hang my head for listening to Tori B for the first time in my life and just hearing New York. Just straight
and smoked that just now. And smoked it just now. We love you, Tori B. We appreciate you so much.
Oh, y'all my guys. Y'all have me cracking up all the time.
Listen, people like yourself, Monkey Wrench, he's going in and out. I see Turbo in there. I'll be able to pull you up in a second. Y'all really keep us going, because without it, it's like, this thing is tough. People don't understand the mental, just like it's grueling for these playoffs and these NBA players. This content game is serious.
Oh,
you look at the views and you compare yourself to this guy. You're like, hold on, let me stop comparing myself. What are we doing right? All right, let's go with the Knicks. That's what we love. Boom. Then we find Tori B. Turbo been here. Turbo's day one. LB so wavy. All y'all, Tori B. Like, y'all really fish is bananas. But without that, this thing is way harder. The complementary pieces are all of us. So, Let me pull somebody up. LB so wavy.
What's good? What's good?
Whoa.
Barry White.
Are you laying down talking to me?
Don't ask him no questions. Just talk.
Nah,
don't ask
that's
him what
crazy.
He's doing.
That is crazy.
Don't ask him what he's doing, Fabian. What's wrong with you?
Listen, I have to make it comfortable out here.
LB so wavy. We appreciate you, big dog.
What's good? Oh, to respond to what you was talking about with Lonzo, listen, I'm over all these injury-prone players. I don't want him nowhere near here.
Okay.
That dude is made out of plastic, bro.
Okay.
Damn.
Okay, I ain't mad at you.
Yeah, though he got the same blood issues like Wemby and stuff or whatever. Like, nah, I'm good on Lonzo. But we do need another ball. We do have a ball handler. His name is Tyler Cullen, but Thibodeau is Thibodeau, so we'll never see him. He'll be banished to the bench forever, as long as he's not here.
He'll flourish for another team.
Yeah, it's like what I'm reminded of, right? This series gave me flashbacks that I did not want to go back to. Remember the series with the Heat a few years ago?
Yes.
Thibodeau did damn near every exact thing that he did in this series.
Ooh, break it down.
And Obi Toppin proved that he won the argument.
Oh,
in
shit.
This series.
That's the one that they call Obi with the on the audio.
Yeah, no, remember he was in the tunnel barking on Thibs and all of that?
That's the end. That's the end of that game.
Called him a bozo and all that. Yeah. He's right. He is right. You a dumb coach, bro. You wait until everybody's saying Thibs is fine. I see people still trying to defend Thibs. They said, oh, well, no, he was finally playing the bench. I'm like, dog, he finally played the bench when he was backed into a corner facing elimination. What are y'all talking about? It's like, come on, man. It's like, no, he got to go. And that Jalen Brunson interview pissed me off, too. When he was trying to, I don't care whether it wasn't the right time. It was the right time to me. I don't care.
So hold on. So hold on, LB. So wait, hold on, real quick, because I got a question. In your perfect world, how does Jalen Brunson answer that question?
Don't answer it.
Okay.
Just walk away. Do the Giannis thing and just get up and walk away. I don't
Fabian,
need to
how does
hear
he
your
answer that
answer
question, though, bro? Because I was going to ask y'all that offline. But how does he answer that in that moment?
Jalen not going to say nothing crazy about Thibs. Why would he? He not
Come
going
on, Tori.
In a perfect world, I wish he did.
And I don't. He's the captain of the team, right? And the offense is designed around him. So for the entire season, it was Brunson's show. You go into the playoffs, it don't work for you in this series because it worked in Detroit, it worked in Boston, it didn't work in Indianapolis. All right, it didn't work. So you going to toss your coach to the side when he been the guy that been champion for you all season? Why would you do that? That's fuck bullshit. I wouldn't do it.
I'll put it like this:
if that's the guy that's been championing you the entire season, would you throw him under the bus when everybody else is shitting on him? I wouldn't. He stood 10 toes down for that man, so that man gonna stand 10 toes down for him. That's it.
You want
I'm
to
not
know
gonna
who
throw him
else
under the bus. So that's the perfect person to ask questions about Thibs if you want him to stay, because you know you guys gonna get no bad nothing from him. I wouldn't do it.
You know why?
I'm not saying you don't deserve it.
We know Brunson protects him and Hart. It gets on my nerves.
It's not so much out, and he's supposed to. He's supposed to protect that man because that man protects him.
You want to know who else threw their coach under the bus and still kept winning? Kobe Bean Bryant. Remember when he proved his point in that 2008 series? I said, you know what? I'm going to do it your way, coach. And what happened? They lost.
That was nasty work. That was bad work.
Listen. I'm backing out all the BS, bro.
I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm answering the question.
Right.
I ain't saying you're wrong.
Both of y'all are right.
Wrong. I'm not saying Kobe was wrong. I'm saying he's not going to throw that man under the bus because that man never threw him under the bus.
Because Kobe's not in the same scenario where his family is running the team. He's not throwing his family member under the bus. He's not doing it. You're not gonna go to July 4th barbecue after you done throw me under the bus. Thibodeau's not rocking with you no more. He's sacrificing a lot, I guess, by bringing the Knicks back to being relevant again.
It's
Uh,
crazy.
That's a
It's
hard.
crazy that
And you
I
know,
gotta hit the red button. It's crazy I gotta hit the red button, call for James Dolan to overrule Leon and get him up out of here.
No, but but LB. So wait, on a real tip, and I'm gonna jump after this one. I'm gonna let y'all do y'all thing.
Right.
It's a hard fire for that dude Leon Rose to make. It's a hard fire, and I know we all want it to happen. That if it does or it doesn't, it's a hard fire to make. We're gonna have to bottom out next year for Thibs to go. And I mean, I'm talking about 500 playing type team, something like we got to be really, really bad, regress terribly for them to, for Leon to hit the red button because it's a hard fire for them to make. All of them, they all tied, they all love him. It's hard for them. I love you. I'm gonna jump.
Oh, Flea, I can respond to that.
Oh, we
Though.
live.
Go
I
ahead.
can
I'm gonna
say,
listen.
yeah, I'll say this. There's two ways of doing this to get him up out of here. There's two ways. Like this is like a dream scenario.
Okay.
One, James Dolan just comes in and be like, dog, if you don't do it, I'll just do it. But I know, but like that would be like the best scenario. But then the other scenario is just say if we do get Giannis, right? And Giannis, all he says is, I will be there. I want to be on the Knicks, but one thing you got to do for me is get Thibs out of there. That's the only way. I think that's a dream scenario, though.
That's a dream scenario. And if Giannis says that, goodbye, Thibs.
Yeah.
And then they don't have to do it. Giannis is the scapegoat. Turbo.
What up, everybody? What's good?
Big Queens in
Good
the building.
Everybody in the building.
How you feeling, man? How do you feel about the next season and what you've been hearing?
I mean, you know me, I'm a basketball fan, so the way I see certain things. I mean, you know, I watch everybody's opinion about what they should do, what they should not do. But me as a basketball fan, I gotta give prop. And I said this early on one of my episodes earlier. I said, yo, the Knicks got a great chance of getting to the conference finals. I said that. But if I had to grade them for what they did this season, I'd give them a B plus because nobody expected them to get to the conference finals this year. Or Indiana. Nobody had both of those teams. I think if you looked at the odds, I think both of them are probably like dead last to make it to the conference finals.
Right.
Are y'all gonna watch that, by the way?
Who, me? Yeah,
Absolutely
I'm a
not.
basketball fan. I'm a basketball fan, so I'm gonna watch. I'm not like these other bozos.
I'm a finals. No, I'm a basketball fan too, but I skipped a few finals in my life. I skipped 4. 2005, Detroit and Pistons. I hated that series because I hated both teams. Yep. I hated the Spurs because they beat us in '99, and I hated the Pistons because they broke up the Lakers. That's one. 2008 finals. I didn't give a damn. It was Kobe Bryant and the Lakettes. I don't like Kwame Brown. Get him up. Smush Parker. Get him up out of here, bro. I didn't care about that. And then 2023, Denver and Miami, snooze fest.
Oh, that
bro.
was
snooze
the worst
fest
ever. That's one of the worst. Yeah, that was one of the worst finals I ever watched.
And now this is the fourth one I'm skipping. I hate the Pacers. I know. Just get OKC. OKC in one. It's like just hand them the trophy, bro. Don't drag it out either. No one cares about your ads, bro. Nobody watching that, bro.
Monkey wrench you in the building. Talk to the people. Will you watch the finals?
Yo. Keep it a buck. I don't know what he said. I'm not gonna watch it, but it's not because of the Pacers and whatnot. I honestly don't like OKC. I don't like the way they play basketball. Like every time I tried to watch their games, that shit's just not appealing to me. So like, I don't know. Like the finals right now with these two teams is just not appealing to me to watch it. To be honest with you, and even if the Knicks was in, of course, but I don't know. I don't like watching OKC basketball.
Everybody wanted Knicks in Minnesota. Like everyone wanted that. This is like the worst case scenario.
Knicks in Minnesota, there's a lot of, wrestling
storylines.
I keep it real. That's a YN series. Straight up. That's a YN series, bro.
That's a different way to put it. But OKC Knicks would have been top tier because I think, I relate everything to football and wrestling. SGA, he's already ready to go over the top. He's the MVP. I've been saying this. who else makes Trae Young a villain? Halliburton a villain, and then you got SGA in a championship versus the Knicks. They would love to get that front page, back page of the New York Times, the New York Post, the New York Daily News, the New York media involved with SGA killing us, stomping over the Freedom Tower. They wanted that. There's no way possible they wanted Halliburton in Indiana, just from a bit of money standpoint. It's not happening. If it was New York, obviously we'd be more invested. I might catch the first half of of these games in the finals because they start at 9 o'clock. I ain't sacrificing my time for these two teams. I'm definitely watching the replay. It's not, and it's not like you said. When was the last time? The last great finals was Toronto and Golden State, right?
Yeah, and even the Milwaukee Bucks and the Phoenix Suns series was good.
Oh, right. Yeah, Phoenix and Milwaukee was good.
They were down 0-2. I don't know about everybody.
I hated the Celtics, but I enjoyed the Golden State.
Yes. I'm bugging. Celtics Warriors was crazy. Celtics Warriors was dramatic.
I want Golden State go all the way with
that. That was back to back. Those were great back to back finals.
Yeah,
compared to the past 2 years that we had with the duds with Miami and Denver, and then last year the Boston Massacre beating Dallas. I didn't expect that series to end.
And we only watched last year because most of us was invested in Boston losing. And we wanted Kyrie to cook the Celtics. Well, me personally. So But other than that, I hated that finals, but because it didn't get the outcome I wanted. But.
Well, I gotta get going, guys, ladies and gents. Y'all are amazing, like I say. We don't do this without y'all, man. I gotta do my job.
Yeah, I gotta start doing my job too.
Yo, man, add it on here if you need some help, Turbo. I'm right here, man. I'll sit you down for a tutorial. Playing no games.
All right. Yeah, we're gonna talk behind the scenes also.
Yeah, man. Anytime, Big Queens. You kidding me?
Knicks Rehab.
My birthday's on the 15th, 2 weeks.
Come on, man. Yeah. His birthday's in 2 weeks, y'all.
So
you kidding me?
Might do a birthday live. I don't know. I might want to do a little birthday live on YouTube. We'll talk about that behind the scenes, though.
All right. Sorry, I seen you unmute yourself. You got some last words?
No, I was just gonna say good night.
Thank you very much. Likewise to you, LB. Likewise to yourself.
Peace.
Another episode of Knicks Rehab Monkey Wrench. Good night to you. Good night to the chat. RP. Oh, RP's birthday's in a week also. We don't care, RP. I'm joking. Ladies and gents, I don't know when the next live should be tomorrow, as a matter of fact, because I'm off. I got some time.
Oh, all right, cool. I got
them all. All right. AllBall TV.
They scared, but I'm not.
They don't like comentario.
Y suscribe.